Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Check out the podcast below in the description.
Tagovailoa makes his debut against the Rams on Sunday, John. Let's talk about what we're looking for. I just watched the Tua, this like 1 hour Tua special on FS1 that looked like it was from before the draft on Thursday or on Wednesday. Maybe I watched it. You should keep an eye out for it on TV. It's a lot of Tua. He's just, I'll tell you, man, you've told me this before. He is so damn likable.
Can you give me the cliff notes of what his grandpa told the camera of why he should go to Alabama?
Yeah, so I don't know if this is his mom's dad or one of his grandfathers passed. And I think
He's from Hawaii, right?
he's from Hawaii. Yep, went to I think St. Louis High School. Is that Mariota's high school?
the big power program.
And one of his grandfathers that have passed was the one that prophesied that Tua would make the Tagovailoa name known worldwide. His other I believe this is his other grandfather. Then
He's already got America. I mean,
So here's the quote. He says, "Tua says to me he wants to go to USC," and I said, "Tua, you're the #1 quarterback in the country, right?" And he said, "Yes." And he said, "Then you should go to the #1 school." Who's the #1 school? And Tua says, "Alabama." He says, "Well, then you should go to Alabama." Pretty logical thinking, I think, from Grandpa.
Because I think sometimes we go, well, hey, you're going to go to Alabama, you're going to go to Ohio State. Why don't you go to like Wisconsin or, Washington or whatever and just be the star? Sometimes I think I even overthink that with recruits. Like, yeah, just go to Alabama. If you're the best, you're going to be way better there. You just are. Like, should I go to Oklahoma or should I go to Arizona State? Like, just go to Oklahoma, man. It's going to change your life. And I'd say it consistently, if you're mentally tough enough or whatever does, I couldn't even begin to guess a stat line. Like I'm not confident that he's going to look good. And I don't know really why I feel that way because I watched him in college dominate, but the injuries, the discrepancy in talent for him, unlike the other guys, like let's use Herbert as an example. It was just clear right away. It didn't really matter. And his arm strength was so big, pushing the ball down the field. Like Tua is used to throwing. Like if you watch Bama over the years, like they put Waddle or Ruggs in the backfield and he could just throw a wheel route. And I'm not trying to diminish him, but the guy could take it like 50 yards and at least just they could gain yards on every single play. We watched Miami a couple weeks ago. Like they just went after with one guy a weak link and they're not some like potent offense. I mean, their tight ends are okay. Their running backs are like Matt Breida. Like his team offensively is not great and his physical attributes, like one thing you saw the Rams on Monday Night Football against Foles, they do have a lot of team speed. Obviously, their defensive line can be really, really hectic. And just Aaron Donald's one of the best players we've seen ever. And just, Michael Brockers, and they just have some dudes up there. And then Jalen Ramsey, you would say this. If Devontae Parker is their best wide receiver by a pretty wide margin, well, Jalen, unlike like Sherman, who doesn't travel, whatever, he'll just go with their best receiver. And what does Tua do? Like, it's not, I remember you saying, like, it's not an easy landing spot. My pushback is always, and I think coaches, it's the NFL. There is no fucking such thing as easy landing spots. Every team you have, half their team lives in big ass houses and drive nice cars too. Like they're just,
and I agree with that. I wouldn't have waited.
Yeah. Like you go against the Jags, like Josh Allen could kill you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You got him coming off a bye. To me, the thing to watch
when you think he's ready, you put him. It's just it is difficult.
I think based on like what you said, I watched that Bears game thinking maybe Trubisky should be in this game because he can
move a little.
Yeah. Maybe they should just run some zone read and run Trubisky. Like maybe that if that's what the Bears are going to look like on offense, then that's what they need to do. They got to go back to Trubisky. But to me, like
Bears' offense has been worse than Miami's offense with Fitzpatrick.
Miami wins the game; they're 4-3.
Yeah.
And I guess the Bears have wins too. So throw that out. But to me, the thing I watch for, based on what you just said about the Rams in part, also based on watching this Tua thing, like when he would come into games, I guess he threw a touchdown like in every game he came into. He would come in for Hurts late during the course of his freshman year. And every highlight would be like, all right, here comes Tua. We're up 30. And it'd be like snap, to a spin move, to a step out of a tackle, Tua turns his back, runs the other way, throws a touchdown across the field, right? It was just these highlight reel plays. And that's what he looked like in the national championship game, too, when he came in. He almost gets sacked. Remember, he takes a huge sack right before he throws the game-winning touchdown. They're in the red zone. And Tua takes like a 15-yard sack, like knocks him out of field goal range because he's trying to break out of 2 tackles.
I think he threw that to Judy. I think.
I thought it was Devontae Smith.
Might have been. I think Ridley was one of the plays before where he threw in the end zone, like the one where he did the crazy scramble, and then it looked like he threw it to the wrong guy. Yeah. I think that was Ridley. One of the game winners was to one of those guys.
It was second and 26 because he'd lost 16 yards on the play. I don't know. It was Devontae Smith.
Gotcha.
And they did a cool thing where they like.
But that's part of my point. Like,
yeah, but so what I'm saying is like the thing to watch for, right, is just the thing that you have always said about Baker. Does Baker realize he's not in college anymore athletically? That's what I'm interested to see. Tua, like, he got hurt trying to run away. Now, maybe it was kind of a freak deal, but is his game going to be predicated on him doing crazy stuff in the pocket and making plays, or is it just going to be predicated on he's super accurate, he's super smart, he's going to know what to do, he's going to make the throws?
Yeah, I mean, I had probably within the last couple of weeks was on an edible, and this is the things I end up thinking about was Tua and like why will he fail? And to me, it's just durability. Like I do think if he's durable, he will be functional enough he's an accurate passer. He's a smart player, right? In terms of like reading, understanding defenses, reading. Like his big thing in college was like he could decipher 1 through 4 within seconds. Now, granted, 1 through 4 were all pros, literally. I mean, all of them might one day be
all of them are. Yeah.
So, but like the things that like could he do it upstairs and he could, it's just he always got hurt. And when I walked by him at the combine, talked to him for a minute, like he's just smaller. He's still big, like just the average guy, but you know he's 6 foot. And you see it with Baker, he's just small.
Is he as athletic as Kyler? Doesn't feel like it. Tua's not as athletic as Kyler, right?
Like in terms of speed?
In terms of just like in the like elusiveness.
No,
not speed, but elusiveness is like Kyler is a playmaker.
Yeah.
I
think Tua is like an average athlete for NFL standards. Kind of, you know what Russell is now? Like Russell does not move that fast. Right? When you watch him, he doesn't look as twitchy as Kyler.
Right.
Or even like
great feel.
Yeah, it's like that is what Tua's going to have to be a great player. Is just an incredible feel because he's not running away from anyone. And just when these big guys land on him, I think the question is going to be every time that he gets slammed to the ground, does he get back up? Yeah. The moment he lays there for an extra second, people will just go silent.
But
right?
You know who doesn't? But Kyler and Russell, they haven't really been slammed to the ground that much, right?
Kyler doesn't take any hits.
Yeah.
I think Kyler, one thing he has going for him is he's so twitchy that even when he gets in these predicaments, he can just like whoop, hit like the little turbo. Tua does not have the turbo. You saw in the SEC that the defenders have the turbo. You know, and in fairness to all these quarterbacks, like the defenders now have turbo.
Was it or maybe it was South Carolina? Who was he playing when he got hurt?
Mississippi State.
Okay, they got players.
Yeah.
But they were up like 30.
Yeah, they were killing them. It was right at the end of the first half, and I just want to see him stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm with you. So, all right, that's number one. For me, it's like, can he be an NFL quarterback without going through this phase that Baker? I don't know if it's a phase or not, but can he just make the plays without having to do extra? Like, will he accept early on? Like, I'm not here to the runaround thing that worked at Alabama. Probably isn't going to work here. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine you have to try it before you accept that you have to change a little bit. So I would imagine we'll see him try a little bit. I'm curious what that looks like.
You'd have to wonder after dislocating a hip, what do you think the number one thing, whether he's training with Dilfer, Saban talking to him, the Miami coaching staff talking to him, that has to be the number one thing about playing within yourself, not being a hero, living to play another down.
Yeah.
You're only as good as your ability to play, right? You're no good to anybody when you're on the sideline. And the only way you get on the sideline, I mean, you can have things that you can't control, right? Just getting destroyed in the pocket or whatever. But every play that you can avoid, scrambling, trying to run away from a guy, you can't do that anymore because we don't want to see you break a leg or have another hip or whatever.
I wonder if selling that to him actually is a little easier too. If you're the Dolphins, if you're Chan Gailey, the offensive coordinator, right? You go look at how the Niners beat this team. Look at what they did. We're not out here to run around and try and hit a 40-yard bomb. We're just out here to get the ball out. I'm talking about the Rams defense. We're just here to get the ball out as fast as possible.
Yeah, Tua, look what they did. They did not let Jimmy Garoppolo throw. They just everything they could. Run, play action. Jimmy just one read, take a sack. Jimmy, do not throw. Tua's like, why aren't they letting this Jimmy Garoppolo character let it loose?
Should I go there? Should I go there and play quarterback? Do they need me?
Yeah. Yeah, they'd probably take you.